took Rachel horseback riding. She hated it. I took Rachel to fly in a plane. She hated it. I planned this whole birthday party for her during COVID. I feel like I've been around the block a little bit as far as like marriage is concerned and kids. I've been married about 7 years now, which some people be like, that ain't long enough. Then other people be like, oh, that's a long time. Those are the people I'm talking to. As Valentine's Day is approaching, I feel like it gets harder and harder to participate in Valentine's Day. And maybe it's because of the expectations. And I'm like, how do these expectations get here? And not even just Valentine's Day, like birthdays, Christmases, anything that's like a gift giving holiday or anything that requires a certain level of romanticism seems to get more difficult over the years. And I've been a huge fan of trying to figure out why. And today I think I am a little bit closer to figuring out why than I have been in recent years. Hey, I'm D'Anthony and I run this channel here called The Dad Vlog. I just kind of talk about my family and my life as a dad and what that entails and kind of what it looks like. There's not a whole lot of examples out there, so I just want to be one data point and let you know that this life that I live here is very simple, very achievable, not crazy. And if you wanted to try to live this life today, you could. And that's the thing that all the people that subscribe here have in common. We all just like the simple life. So if you're into that, you can like just simply press the subscribe button. Not hard. We don't like smash nothing over here or nothing like that. We do press it very nicely though. All right, but check this out. The reason why it gets harder over time to be more romantic is because of this one thing that I've dubbed as the awe factor. All right, so this is what I'm defining as the awe factor. I had to write it down. So the awe factor is the emotional impact of a romantic or a thoughtful action, like effort, timing, consistency, context, time of the year. All these things kind of flow up together to create this one thing that's called the awe factor. And all of these things play a very huge part and they kind of change over time. So when you are early in a relationship or early in a marriage, it's a little bit easy to have a higher awe factor with the things that you do, especially if you're boyfriend and girlfriend. Here's an example. One of the subcategories of the awe factor is effort. So when you just first meet somebody, you pretty much have free range to do anything, and it looks like high amounts of effort. For example, you're a guy, you first meet a girl, you say, hey, I'm gonna go grab a sandwich, and I'm gonna bring it to her on my way there because I'm about to visit. She's gonna be like, oh, you didn't have to do that. And then it's like, the awe factor is greater because a lot of things just lined up. First off, she was surprised, which is a subcategory of the awe factor. There was effort put in, which is also a subcategory of that as well. Timing may have worked out because maybe she was very hungry, right? Maybe, I don't know. So these things work out. So you're able to get that very high awe factor early on. Now, put some time in, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, that stuff starts to change just a little bit. Now going to get a sandwich may not be as impactful as it was early. Not saying that they don't appreciate it, but it just don't give you that awe factor. It's more like yeah, he's sweet. It's solidified. The awe factor gets you over a particular hump. But if you're always bringing them sandwiches, like you don't necessarily get over a hump. You've just managed the expectations of like what you're supposed to do. You feel me? One time for Christmas, I got Rachel like some silverware for her kitchen. I'm like, hey, I thought you needed some silverware. Wrap these up. They're very nice. She was like, oh, this is nice. Nobody ever thought about that. And it's like, that's cool, but I can't get silverware today. We live together. We in the same house. She's gonna be like, okay, great. You bought our house some silverware. That is no longer like a gift for her. That is like a house gift. So that a lot of things fall under that category now that wouldn't fall under that category early on. You feel me? For example, there was a time that I could pop up at Rachel's house or her apartment when we were dating, and I could say, hey, surprise, I was just in the area. I know we want to post a link up to later on this week, but I just wanted to see you and I just brought you something here. Everything's working out. The timing, surprised, the effort, everything is working out, and that awe factor is high. It was like just wow. If I come knock on her door now, she's gonna be like, did you forget your key? She's like, what are you doing here? She's gonna be like, why are you knocking on your door? So that's like one less thing that I can do and provide, because of where we're at in a relationship, that doesn't contribute to the awe factor. And this gets more difficult because the things that make them go awe just it flatlines because of the lifestyle that you may have developed because of all the awe factor things. You go bring flowers often, or you go make sandwiches, and that's why you hear people say, hey, you got to keep it spicy. What they really mean is you got to figure out a different combination of things that meet the awe factor. So this is like the official formula. You have the awe factor equals the effort times how you personalize the particular effort. What is the timing looking like? Multiply the timing by the actual surprise factor. You remember, you got to do things when they're not expecting things to be done. That's how you get a very high awe factor. So if it's Valentine's Day, like it's about to be in a couple days, your awe factor may not be as high, only because she knows Valentine's Day is coming. So she knows you may be thinking or about to do something. Now, not saying that that's bad. It's just not the awe factor you get it. But if it was like 2 weeks before, said Valentine's Day of love, or if it was like a couple weeks after, or some random Wednesday, the timing works out a little bit better because you're not necessarily expecting it. You feel me? That goes into the misdirection. So that's the same thing. You need the misdirection and the particular context of that misdirection. Hey, we're gonna go out to eat to this spot today. And then you go out to eat and it's like, actually, you know what? Let's not go out to eat. Let's go see what they're doing over here. Oh, it's a private chef in this hotel room that's making your favorite food by spelling out your name in French fries. I don't know what you like to do, that type of stuff. You feel me? That's the misdirection. And then you add on consistency. Now listen when I say consistency. Now, this don't mean do it all the time. I know that's what consistency means, but you got to be able to manage like what you're going to do and what you're not going to do. Because if you do something all the time, it's like, your awe factor may slip. Not saying that just because the awe factor slips don't mean it is not appreciated. It is just that that breakthrough inflection point may not be there, but they likely will still appreciate it. So don't just be inconsistent and be like, oh, the Anthony said the awe factor. No, you get your wives and husbands coming at me. That's not what I mean. You feel me? Now, when I laid this formula out this way, I think that you can see how it gets a little bit tougher over time to fill in these variables, because things just get tough. It's hard to work out timing because you working, she working, you got the kids in school and and all these after school activities. So it feels like it's no time. How you gonna surprise somebody when you share a bank account? Like, you'll be like, hey, I bought you this. They'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that on the Bank of America statement, a couple weeks ago. like so all of these things happen. And I'm just trying to put some logic behind why it's happening the way that it is. And if you can see that more clearly, maybe you can substitute things in a little bit differently. Like if y'all share a credit card or a bank account, maybe it's best if you say, hey, let's keep our joint bank account and let's also have like our separate one so that we can, do some things without each other knowing. Don't be doing no mischievous stuff. Talk about, I done said this. I did not say do mischievous things. You feel me? Everything I'm talking about is to be used for good, all right? Not for evil. Now, even effort looks different today than it did before. Like, I know for sure effort at our house looks like, all right, we're trying to do this thing. We need 4 babysitters to line up perfectly, for their schedules to line up perfectly to be able to take the kids so Rachel and I can go do said thing. And that right there is a juggling game in its own right. So I can set all of that up and then set up dinner and set up all of that. And at this stage that we're at, that may be a high awe factor. I don't know, it may be though, because the amount of effort that it takes to juggle babysitters and childcare and then still let us have like an awesome night and everything kind of goes smoothly and nobody's like stressed out and nobody's like calling people and saying, hey, did you get such and such? Did you get such and such? So that effort looks different today than before. Before, that effort ain't even matter. That wasn't even like a thing. You feel me? So as this Valentine's Day is approaching, I want y'all to take this formula and really just dive deep on what are the things that look like it's going to be a lot of effort What does it take for me to execute on all of these things? And I guarantee you, your partner will give you that awe factor. Like they will be like, oh my goodness, you did all of this. Now it's got to go smooth. Actually, you know what? It don't even got to go smooth. It just has to look good. It just has to be a very good attempt. And that's the great thing about this. You literally just have to have a very good attempt. I failed at many things. I took Rachel horseback riding. She hated it. I took Rachel to fly in a plane. She hated it. I planned this whole birthday party for her during COVID. She liked it, but it wasn't part of my plan. It all got derailed. You know, COVID years, stuff don't even count. Anyways, I digress, but take this stuff into consideration when you're planning your Valentine's Day stuff, or when you're planning your date nights, or if you're just trying to increase your overall all factor credit score. Like, keep this in mind. I guarantee you it works. Guarantee you. But that is it. That's all I got for y'all today. Let me know what you think. Hopefully this makes sense and why things are the way that they are today versus why they kind of don't feel the same as before. I think if we look at it in this way, it's easy to plug in those variables and see what we don't have, and then make our relationships a little bit better, a little bit cooler. I'm D'Anthony, and I am okay with you subscribing to here. See you next time.